for those of us that grew up going out into the wilds of the world, where nature was basically untouched, we got into our souls a sense of beauty.
My name is Jeff Johnson. Look in any phone book and you'll find 10 of me. I grew up in Danville, California. You probably never heard of it, but it's a long way from the ocean and the mountains. When I was 8 years old, two things set me on the path that I'm still on. The first one was when my parents took me on a camping trip to Yosemite Valley. I remember looking through a telescope up at this huge granite wall and guys climbing thousands of feet up. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was like watching men walk on the moon. In that same year, I saw surfing for the first time on TV, Wide World of Sports. I saw these guys riding massive walls of water. There were people out there putting themselves in places they weren't supposed to be. And I knew right then that I wanted to be there too.
Actually was thinking, said everything out loud.
I'm drawn to open country. It's where everything becomes clear, where the world makes the most sense. When I put myself out there, I always return with something new. A friend once told me, the best journeys answer questions that in the beginning, you didn't even think to ask.
Taking a trip for 6 months, you get into the rhythm of it, it feels like you can just go on forever doing that. Climbing Everest is the ultimate and the opposite of that, because you get all these high-powered plastic surgeons and CEOs, and you know, they pay $80,000 and they have Sherpas who put all the ladders in place and 8,000 feet of fixed ropes, and you get to a camp and you don't even have to lay out your sleeping bag. It's already laid out with a little chocolate mint on the top. And the whole purpose of climbing something like Everest is to affect some sort of spiritual and physical gain, but if you compromise the process, you're an asshole when you start out and you're an asshole when you get back.
This is the worst. This isn't climbing. This is... But, you know, you could take a helicopter right to the snow line and climb it, because that's cheating. I guess this is what makes the climb, this crap.
We've been in this section of the new park for 3 days now. I've spent a lot of time in places I thought were wild, but I've never seen anything like this. This is probably the craziest part of Chile that I've seen so far, I think. I don't think very many humans have been up here.
Here's to now. Here's to now. Actually was thinking, said everything out loud. Actually was thinking, so here's to right now. Here's to right now.
I left home 6 months ago to follow in the footsteps of my heroes. A bit of surfing, some climbing, lots of unspoiled terrain. Pretty simple, really. Well, I got all that. But along the way, I've also begun to make connections that I never thought much about. In these far corners of the world, I'm seeing the effects of encroaching progress. And most of this has to do with overconsumption elsewhere. It's easy for us to blindly consume when we don't see the effect it has on other places.
The hardest thing in the world is to simplify your life. It's so easy to make it complex. What's important is leading an examined life, because most of the damage caused by humans is caused unintentionally, I think.
In response to people saying you can't go back. So, well, what happens if you get to the cliff and you take one step forward, or you do a 180-degree turn and take one step forward? Which way are you going? Which is progress?
Solution may be for a lot of the world's problems is to turn around and take a forward step. You can't just keep trying to make a flawed system work.
My whole life, I've been drawn to open country. I always return home a little different. But I know now we can no longer take it for granted. When open country is gone, we will be gone with it.